Marvel Rivals looks easy at first, and then you realize every single hero plays completely differently, and half your team is insta-locking damage while nobody's healing. If you just downloaded this game, you're coming over from Overwatch, or you've been losing every match and have no idea why. This video is going to get you up to speed way faster than learning it the hard way. Let's jump in. What is Marvel Rivals? So Marvel Rivals is a free-to-play hero shooter, 6 versus 6, objective based, and instead of original characters, you're playing as actual Marvel heroes and villains. At this point, the roster is massive, over 50 playable characters spanning the Avengers, the X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, and a bunch of deep-cut comic picks most casual fans have never even heard of. Each match, two teams fight over objectives, escorting payloads, capturing points, that kind of thing, using each hero's unique kit of abilities. But here's the part most beginners completely miss coming from other hero shooters. Marvel Rivals leans way harder into destructible environments and vertical mobility than most games in the genre. Walls come down mid-fight, and half the cast can fly, wall climb, or teleport around the map. Positioning in this game is a completely different beast. That's honestly what makes it feel distinct, even if the general pick a hero, fight for the objective structure will feel familiar if you've played something like Overwatch before. Understanding hero roles. Every hero falls into one of three roles, and understanding these is honestly the single most important thing to learn before your first match. Vanguards are your tanks. They create space, soak up damage, and protect the team. Think Captain America or Penny Parker, characters built to be up front, absorbing hits so your damage dealers can do their thing. Duelists are your damage dealers, eliminating enemies, flanking, applying pressure. This is easily the biggest role in the game, with well over half the entire roster falling into this category. Strategists are your healers and support, keeping the team alive and buffing your damage output. Without them, your team simply falls apart under pressure. However, here's the mistake almost everyone makes early on. Because duelists make up so much of the roster, new players gravitate toward damage and end up with 5 DPS heroes and nobody healing. A balanced team composition, usually around 2 of each role, wins games far more consistently than an all-out damage stack. If you're brand new, I'd actually recommend starting with a Vanguard or Strategist rather than jumping straight into Duelist. They're more forgiving, and you'll learn positioning and team fight awareness faster than you would just chasing kills. Choosing your first hero. Let's talk specific heroes to start with because the roster is honestly overwhelming at first glance. Captain America is a great beginner Vanguard, straightforward kit, easy to understand when to engage and when to peel for teammates. Rocket Raccoon is one of the most forgiving strategist picks. His healing is simple to use, and his kit doesn't punish small mistakes the way some of the higher skill supports do. Punisher is a solid beginner duelist if you want to shoot things. Straightforward aim-based damage, without a complicated combo to learn. Iron Man is another good starting duelist. His ranged kit teaches you positioning and timing without demanding pinpoint mechanical skill right away. Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are both fantastic heroes, but they're a bit more mechanically demanding. Save those for once you've got the basics down. Luna Snow is a great secondary strategist to learn once Rocket starts feeling too simple. This next part matters. Don't lock into one hero right away. Try a handful from each role in your first few matches. You'll figure out what actually clicks with you way faster than reading a tier list. Understanding abilities. Every hero has a primary attack, a secondary attack, movement abilities, and an ultimate, and learning when to use each of these matters way more than raw aim. Cooldown management is honestly the skill that separates good players from beginners. Using your mobility ability to escape a bad fight, rather than burning it offensively the second it's available, is often the difference between surviving a fight and feeding a kill. This next mechanic completely changes how you should play. Ultimates in this game are often team fight defining, not just personal power spikes. A well-timed ultimate that catches 3 or 4 enemies grouped up can swing an entire match, while using it on a single target, the second it's charged usually wastes its full potential. Team up abilities. Now here's one of Marvel Rivals' signature features that a lot of new players don't even realize exists. Team up abilities. When you pick certain heroes together, you unlock bonus combo abilities that aren't available otherwise. It's the game rewarding you for playing into Marvel's actual comic book relationships. Certain characters just synergize because of who they are in the source material. These combinations get added and adjusted almost every season, so it's worth checking your hero select screen before a match to see which teammates you might be able to combo with. But here's what most beginners get completely wrong. They ignore this entirely and just pick whoever looks cool. Coordinating even one team up with your team can swing a close fight, so it's worth communicating with your team about it, especially once you're playing with friends instead of solo queue. Maps and objectives. You'll run into a few different objective types. Escort maps, where you push a payload forward, capture point maps, and hybrid maps that combine both. Map destruction is a big deal here too. Walls and cover can get blown apart mid-fight, which means the safe spots you were using 2 minutes ago might not exist anymore. And because so many heroes have strong vertical mobility, high ground control matters enormously. Ignoring the vertical space on a map is one of the fastest ways to lose a fight you should have won. Here's the real lesson though. Positioning around the objective matters more than chasing kills. You can wipe half the enemy team, but if nobody's actually standing on the point, you're not winning the match. Combat tips. A few core combat habits that'll instantly make you a better teammate. Stay close to your team. Solo players get picked off constantly. Use cover and actually know when to retreat instead of fighting a losing battle to the death. Don't waste your ultimate the second it's ready. Wait for a moment where it actually swings the fight. Targeting enemy supports first, when it's safe to do so, is often more valuable than chasing the flashy damage dealer. Learn where health packs are on each map and pay attention to enemy cooldowns. If you know an enemy just used their escape ability, that's your window to press the advantage. Progression. Quick note on progression, it's mostly cosmetic. Battle Pass content, skins, challenges, hero mastery tracks, none of it gives you a gameplay advantage. This is genuinely a skill-based game with no pay-to-win elements, which means your climb up the ranks depends entirely on getting better, not what you've unlocked. 15 beginner mistakes everyone makes. Let's rapid fire through the mistakes basically every new player makes. 1. Running in alone. Solo engagements almost never end well in this game. 2. Ignoring the objective. Racking up kills off point doesn't win matches. 3. Picking heroes you don't understand. Locking in a hero because they look cool without knowing their kit usually backfires. 4. Saving your ultimate forever. Hoarding it out of fear of wasting. It means it never actually helps your team. 5. Using your ultimate at bad times. The opposite problem, panicking and using it on a single low value target. 6. Never changing heroes. If your pick isn't working against the enemy comp, swapping is almost always the right call. 7. Ignoring team up abilities. Free power you're leaving on the table. 8. Not protecting your supports. Lose your healers, lose the fight. It's that simple. 9. Overextending. Pushing too far ahead of your team gets you picked off in isolation. 10. Tunnel vision. Fixating on one enemy while ignoring the rest of the fight around you. 11. Ignoring high ground. Vertical space wins fights in this game more than people expect. 12. Standing still while shooting. Movement is part of survival, not just offense. 13. Fighting when outnumbered. Sometimes the correct play is just to disengage. 14. Ignoring enemy cooldowns. Knowing what abilities the enemy has available changes how you should engage. 15. Playing every hero the exact same way. Each character has a different rhythm. Copy-pasting one playstyle across the whole roster holds you back. If even a few of those sound familiar, don't worry. Literally every single player has made these mistakes at some point. Advanced tips. Once you've got the basics locked in, here's what separates good players from great ones. Track enemy ultimates. Knowing who's charged and who isn't changes how aggressively you can play. Counter pick when needed. Certain heroes directly answer specific threats, and knowing those matchups matters. Actually read the enemy team composition before engaging, not just your own. Use verticality offensively, not just to hide. Baiting out enemy cooldowns before your team commits to a fight is a genuinely underrated skill. Play around the objective rather than around kills. Protect your supports religiously, and try learning at least 2 or 3 heroes per role so you're never stuck if your main gets countered. And don't underestimate pinging. Communicating enemy positions and cooldowns, even without a mic, massively improves team coordination. Understanding match momentum, when to push and when to reset, comes with time, but paying attention to it early will speed up that learning curve a lot. Is Marvel Rivals worth playing? Let's be honest about this one. The pros. It's free, the roster is enormous and constantly growing. The Marvel IP genuinely adds charm most hero shooters don't have, and the destructible, vertical map design makes fights feel different from other games in the genre. The cons, with over 50 heroes, the learning curve is real, and solo queue can be frustrating when your team doesn't balance roles properly. If you're coming specifically for competitive structure and stability, the constant new hero releases mean the meta shifts often. Compared to Overwatch, It's not really about one being objectively better. Marvel Rivals leans harder into chaos, mobility, and IP charm, while Overwatch has a more established competitive identity. If you like both hero shooters and Marvel, there's honestly a lot here to enjoy. Final thoughts. Nobody masters every hero right away, and honestly, nobody's supposed to. Experiment, find two or three heroes across different roles that click with you, and remember that teamwork wins way more games than individual skill in this one. A coordinated team of average players beats five uncoordinated aim gods almost every time. So, tell me, which hero did you start with? Which one completely surprised you once you actually tried them? And who are you planning to main going forward? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them. If this helped you get up to speed faster, a like goes a long way. And subscribe if you want more Marvel Rivals content as the roster keeps growing. Alright, go get your first win. See you in the next one.